Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm here with Matt Dunn of ePlan Advisors. And Matt, this has been a great series, and this one's really important today. We're talking about mitigating financial risk. How do we set realistic goals?
Yeah, so that's the whole thing in a nutshell, because at the end of the day, that's what we are, risk managers. And there are risks that we will all face in retirement, some more than others. But when you're in the planning business, we start with the money, but it's also the health, it's also the legal, it's all of these things tied into one. There are things that you can do to mitigate risk. One of the big things that you can do to mitigate the risk of running out of money is pay a close attention to where your money is invested, the risks that you're taking, and when you're having a distribution strategy. Because when I'm taking money out of an account, I don't want to be taking money out of an account that's going down in value. That's that risk bucket. It's common sense. If I do that, I'm going to speed up the process of running out of it. So we like to keep it simple and say, hey, don't have all your eggs in one basket. One of the things that we see, though, is people come in all the time and say, Matt, I don't. I've got 5 different accounts with different companies. Look at that. That's true, but when we look under the hood and see what they're invested in, it's all the same stuff or very similar.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes making a little bit of adjustments, and that's the planning process, can put someone in a better position and give them a higher chance of success, and that's a risk mitigating strategy. It's the same thing with healthcare. There are things that we can do. We can have the right pieces. We can do some simple estate planning. We can make sure that all our ducks in a row, and just in case something from a health perspective happens, and mitigate that risk. We can't eliminate all risks, but we can mitigate them, and that's what the planning process is designed to do, to mitigate these risks that we all may face in retirement, some more than others, but that's really what it's all about.
Let's talk about debt. How can someone minimize bad debt?
Well, you don't want to be going into retirement, if you can, with a lot of credit card debt paying huge interest rates. You know, so we get this all the time. I mean, people say, hey, I want to pay off my mortgage. And you know, if they had a mortgage from a while ago when they were paying 2-3%, that's one thing. But if you're paying a mortgage off with 8%, you know, I don't know if taking money out of a 401k to pay that off makes sense. It just depends. But the credit card stuff, if you're going into retirement with that, you know, high credit card balance stuff, that stuff we really want to pare down and get rid of that, because the real cost of that, the effective interest rate you're paying is up through the roof, and you don't want that hanging over your head when you're in retirement. So we take a look at that too.
Yeah. Now, everyone's retirement plan and every person's situation is going to be different.
That's exactly right.
So how should someone, or when should they come and see you? Is it ever too early or too late?
It's never too early. We don't have any, and by the way, we don't have any minimums or anything like that. We're here to help anyone who we're a good fit, okay? But most of our clients are regular folks. They're regular middle-class people. They're not multi-millionaires or things like that. But it's a good time if you want to come in and we can give you a retirement success score. Be happy to do it. It's just a planning process, folks, where you come in and we'll take a look at what you have. We'll look at your Social Security. We'll look at what your goals are, what you want to accomplish, how retirement looks for you, and we'll run that through our system and see where you stand. And if you're all set, you're all set. We might be able to point out some areas you might want to look at. There may be some things you can do to give yourself a better chance in retirement. There may be some things you can do to mitigate some of the risks that you'll face, health care, long-term care, things like that. So there's, you come in with us and we take a laid-back approach, but what we're trying to do is keep it simple. Keep it simple so people can understand, and when we do that, it's a good feeling when someone walks out and they at least feel, hey, I'm on the right track, or I have a track to run on. And that's really what it's all about, and that's where we get kind of our reward, is if we can help someone to do that in retirement. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's many folks walking around, with it almost looming over their head. They know they've got to face it, but they're intimidated or they're afraid. So what would you say to someone like that?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, again, come in and for us, we don't take ourselves too seriously at ePlan. We take what we do very seriously. And it doesn't have to be all of this, I call it the mumbo jumbo. I mean, we're investment advisors, we have all that. But at the end of the day, where is the income coming from now for the next 25, 30 years? And is it going to rise? And what type of risks? There's some simple things that you can do, simple planning that can mitigate some of these risks, and it doesn't have to be really expensive. It doesn't have to be really complicated. For most people, it's not. If I know the right places to look and the right questions to ask, and that's our approach. If we can help you, great. If we can't, that's fine too. You're going to walk out of here at least saying, this guy's not trying to sell me anything. We want long-term relationships, and it only works when we're a good fit anyways. So come on in and we'll take a look at what you have and see if we can help you.
All right, this has been such a great series. Thank you so much for all of your helpful information. And again, if you want to get a hold of Matt and his team, just call the number on your screen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.